Last year, I was fortunate to be a part of a research group at a top leading university. The main goal of the research was to develop criteria for assessing asynchronous online teaching. In the project, we analyzed course sites created by faculty who had 5 to 10 years of experience in online teaching. We looked at the different components, the landing page, the different activities, the questions, multimedia, the format, and the overall design of the course site. We also had data of students' responses, which really gave us an indication of the success of each of the parts. Our team developed a solid framework that can be used in evaluating asynchronous online teaching. So from my experience at examining over 100 lessons and course site, I have discovered some aspects that I think contribute to effective or ineffective online teaching. Let me share with you my top 5 factors that are often overlooked in many online courses. Number 1 is engaging videos. We noticed that most courses had only a few videos, around 3 or 4 per semester. And many of those videos were seriously lacking in engaging elements. Instructors often created videos themselves or posted ones of speakers reading off PowerPoint slides in a formal tone that just didn't captivate students. We also found that many of these courses included old videos that were 5 years or older. As a research committee, we all agreed that the best videos should be no longer than 5 minutes, recently produced, and engaging with interesting visuals, real-world examples, storytelling, humor, and sound effects. I would also suggest using at least one video per lesson to enhance the overall learning experience. Number 2 is varied question types. One of the observations in many course sites was that instructors often stuck to just a few types of questions. In most lessons, 2 question types were very popular: multiple choice and fill in the blanks. Plus, most of the questions were text-based and rarely there were visuals in the questions. We also looked at the level of the questions using frameworks such as Bloom's taxonomy and noticed that most questions fell into the remembering or understanding levels. There were very few questions that required students to analyze or evaluate content at a higher level of thinking. So here is my tip. Make sure your course includes a variety of question types, including visual questions and the ones that require higher level thinking. This will not only improve students' engagement, but also help develop their critical thinking skills. Number 3 is feedback from students. One of the interesting observations was that some courses included a feedback section at the end of each week's lesson, but it rarely received responses from students. One reason for this could be that the feedback section wasn't graded, so students didn't see the point in answering them. If you are planning to include a feedback section in your course, here are some tips and suggestions. Offer points for completing the feedback section so students see that they will be awarded for the effort. It's also a good idea to keep it simple and provide one prompt each week. This makes it easier for the students to complete and for you to review. Here are some example prompts. What concepts did you find helpful or difficult in this lesson? Is there anything in particular that you'd like me to clarify or expand upon from this week's lesson? Was there anything that you found difficult or confusing in this lesson? How can I improve it to make it more understandable? What suggestions do you have for improving this week's lesson or making it more engaging? What additional resources or materials would you like me to provide for better understanding this lesson? When you ask students for feedback, you can definitely gain some really interesting insights into how to improve the course and create even more effective learning experiences for your students. Number 4 is visual cues. Surprisingly, not many courses used visual cues, but when they did, it really enhanced the course's visual appeal and made it way more engaging. In case you are not sure what I mean by visual cues are design features that help convey meaning and guide the learner through the course materials. These can be icons, colors, font, layout, and so forth. For example, a book icon represents course readings, while a video icon represents multimedia content. In some interesting courses, color coding made the course site more appealing. For example, all course readings were color-coded in blue, and all multimedia were color-coded in red. One thing very important to remember about visual cues is that they should be consistent throughout the course, and the students must understand the meanings of those visual cues. Number 5 is continuous improvement. We noticed that some courses remained unchanged for 3 to 5 years and even longer. It was clear that those courses had become outdated since they did not take advantage of the new technologies and the teaching approaches that have emerged recently. That's why it's super important to evaluate and update your course regularly based on your students' feedback and the changing needs to stay relevant and effective over time. So, those were the 5 elements I thought worth sharing about creating engaging online courses. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or thoughts on the topic, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Remember to subscribe. I will see you in the next video.